Just want to make a quick little video about some of the stuff I've been up to. So, getting really into Abraham Hicks, Owen Cook, some different things in business. Started a business. So Abraham Hicks is somebody that I really like because even though she's talking from this point of view of somebody who's supposedly channeling non-physical entities, you know, even with that and the skepticism that I have about that, I feel truth when I hear the words, when I hear the books, when I hear the lectures that she gives, that Esther gives, that Abraham gives through Esther. So it's more about the law of attraction, you know, and the fact that what we think is what creates reality, and what we focus on and what we give attention to and what we feel emotion about is what we get more of. And so along those lines, a little bit of advice about using the law of attraction. It's better to just not think than to think bad thoughts. It's better to just shut your mind down. But if you can't shut your mind down, then reach for a thought that feels better to you. And one of the things about Abraham Hicks that I haven't gotten from anybody else, but one of the things that they mention is that this process of shifting your vibration from lower to higher has to take place in reasonable, logical increments. Because the mind, that's the way the mind works, that's the way the nervous system works. It's hard to jump from a state of deep depression to a state of euphoria unless you have like bipolar disorder or something, you know. So there's this intermediary between you and this goal of this higher vibration. And so when you're raising your vibration, do it in increments, small increments. And she even mentions, you know, Abraham mentions that anger, even anger and revenge, are a step up vibrationally from this feeling of helplessness. Helplessness is sort of the ultimate low vibration, because the ultimate untruth. This idea that we're helpless is the ultimate untruth. Of course we have power to change our own reality. Of course we can change everything if we want. Or we can leave it exactly how it is. But the point is, we're not helpless. So when we feel helpless, that's the ultimate disagreement between our conscious thinking mind and our inner being. Because our inner being knows that we're not helpless. So it's sort of a dissonance that happens, and that's what causes negative emotion. Is this dissonance between the opinion of the ego mind and the opinion of the inner being. So when you experience negative emotions, you're really experiencing a disagreement between your inner self and your conscious thinking self. And the disagreement comes on the heels of some sort of attachment usually, but, you know, something that you're holding on to that's negative, that you're attracting more of. Getting something that you don't want by thinking about it. So not thinking about what you don't want, thinking about what you do want is the big shift. Think about what you want and think about the way that you prefer things, and then notice the things in your life, because it's all about perspective, you see. We can experience this so-called objective reality, but the more important and the more influential piece is what's going on within our minds while we're experiencing this. And that's what determines the lens. So you always want to check what lens you're looking at things through. And ultimately, you know, if you want to take it to the ultimate level, you know, you are the self, and there is no lens because there is no world. But, you know, time and space is almost like, time and space is like is a finite thing. You know, what's infinite is the self. What's infinite is God. What's infinite is the Christ, or the Godhead, or the Buddha nature, you know. Jnana, the knowledge. That's what's truly standing between you and sort of like inner freedom, I guess. So these vibrations that run through everything, they are influenced by our thoughts. They're influenced by our emotions. And we're steering the ship of reality and creating reality. And what happens is, I think, in this consumerist culture, we stop being creative. See, when we're young, we're very creative. We can go out in the backyard and we can play with a stick or a rock or a tree, and we can make a whole story about it, you know, and we can play and we can use our imaginations, and we're very natural creators when we're young. So then when we get older, we get very passive because we have all this entertainment and stimulus that doesn't require any imagination. So this is a step that takes effort, that takes imagination, because you have to realize you're already manifesting and creating things. You're just doing it unconsciously. You're doing it unintentionally. So shifting it to intentional is just looking at what's positive in your life and choosing to focus on it. Write it down, review it, wallow in the positive energy to get more of it. And it's really kind of an alchemy, you know. You're creating something from nothing, or from turning something into something else. You're turning this energy that's been tilted in a negative direction towards a positive one, and you're turning the ship around, one thought at a time. This is the approach. And there's nothing wrong with that, because how we feel, as Abraham says, is an indicator of our connection with Source. It's just the same as how your body feels is an indication of your state of health in some ways. You know, how you feel physically is a good determiner of how you are physically. It doesn't tell you everything, but it tells you a lot. And emotions tell you a lot about your connection to the Source. Where you are vibrationally as a physical being. Because the whole thing is we're trying to take this unmanifested self and express it in the world. And we're creative. We are creative to our core. Anybody that is on this earth that is so-called not creative that's a lie. All humans are creative because we're all creating things all the time with our thoughts. Let me know what you think about this, and if you agree, disagree, what your opinion is. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace out.